You know that feeling when you hear something and your whole chest just tightens? Not from fear, not exactly. More like your body is recognizing something ancient and dangerous and real, something that was never supposed to exist. That's what it felt like to stand at the side of the Circuit de la Sarthe in 1991. 3 in the morning, fog sitting low on the tarmac, the smell of castrol and hot rubber baked into the air so thick you could basically chew it. And then, before you even see it, you hear it. This high-pitched, rising, almost electronic wail, like a jet engine and a chainsaw had a baby that was raised on pure anger. It hits you somewhere behind the sternum. Bystanders pressed their hands against their ears. Officials flinched. Some people, I am not exaggerating here, some people stepped backward involuntarily. That sound was the Mazda 787B. My name is William, and honestly, I've spent a lot of nights thinking about cars that meant something, cars that had an actual point of view. And I keep coming back to this one. This ridiculous, beautiful orange and green lunatic that climbed out of Hiroshima in 1991 and told Europe, politely, screaming, that the rules of what a race car could be were not finished being written. The rotary engine is basically a philosophical statement disguised as engineering. Every other engine in motorsport history moves in this linear, reciprocating violence, pistons hammering up and down, like something trying to escape a box it can never leave. The rotary said no. The rotary said, why are we doing it that way? Instead of pistons, you have a triangular rotor, a Wankel rotor, spinning in an epitrochoidal housing, tracing this hypnotic, continuous arc. No up, no down, just rotation. Pure and uninterrupted, like the engine itself achieved some kind of mechanical zen. The R278B and the 787B took that philosophy and stretched it to 4 rotors. 4 of those spinning triangles, working in sequence, producing a power plant that revved to places other engines were afraid to go. 2,600 cubic centimeters, around 700 horsepower. And because the firing strokes happened so frequently, so rapidly, the sound it made wasn't a rumble, wasn't a bark. It was a continuous, sustained, almost inhuman scream. A banshee note held without breathing. You know how opera singers can shatter glass? The 787B held a note at Le Mans for 24 hours straight. And it won. Volker Weidler, Johnny Herbert, and Bertrand Gachot. 3 guys, 1 orange machine, and 362 laps around the most brutal circuit on Earth. They became the first Japanese team to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Outright, overall, no asterisk. The biggest race in the world. And here's where the story gets dark, honestly. Here's where you start to feel that specific automotive grief that real car people know too well. The FIA changed the rules within a year of that win. They restructured the Group C regulations in ways that effectively made the rotary engine uncompetitive at the top level of endurance racing. There are people who'll tell you it was about fuel consumption formulas, technical reclassifications, the transition to a new class structure. And technically, sure, all of that is true. But you talk to the engineers who were there. You sit with someone who heard that car at full song on 3 in the morning on the Mulsanne, and then watched the rulebook quietly close the door on it. You tell me that doesn't feel like something intentional. They banned the sound. That's the car guy truth underneath the bureaucratic language. Something too raw, too different, too genuinely other had shown up in a sport that had calcified around a certain idea of what excellence sounded like. And rather than expand that idea, they shrank the rulebook until the triangle couldn't fit inside it anymore. Modern race cars are extraordinary machines. I'm not pretending otherwise. The technology, the downforce numbers, the safety innovations, all of it is genuinely astonishing. But there's something missing in the sound. Something that used to communicate in a very direct and physical way that what you were witnessing was not safe, was not comfortable, was not optimized for your emotional convenience. The 787B made you feel like you were in the presence of something that did not care about your feelings. And somehow, I know this sounds backward, somehow that made it feel more alive. Because the machines we love don't reassure us, they challenge us, they ask something of us, they make demands. The Rotary was always asking you to understand it on its own terms, not yours. Higher maintenance, different power delivery, a thirst for high revs that punished lazy driving. It was, basically, an engine with strong opinions. And in 1991, at night in France, it expressed those opinions loud enough to make officials bleed from the ears. So, the next time you turn a key, or push a button, whatever it is now, and something mechanical wakes up underneath you, give it a second. Listen to what it's trying to tell you. Because some engines were poetry, some engines were arguments, and some engines were a four-rotor scream held for 24 hours that rearranged the air and permanently altered what we believed was possible. The 787B didn't just win a race. It proved that the weird, the different, the genuinely strange idea, the one that nobody at the top table wanted, could beat everybody. That's worth something. On the road, and, everywhere else, too. Drive safe. Drive loud. I'll see you out there. William.